This is Jason Anderson, Chair of the Killenly Town Council. It is currently 7:02 p.m. and I am calling this regular Town Council meeting to order. Next item up on the agenda is prayer. This evening we have Pastor Dave Jarvis from Journey Church. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For roll call purposes, all council members are in attendance except for Mr. Gambatista and Mr. Grandelski, who are both absent with notification. At this time, we'll move on the agenda. Item 5, we have no minutes, so we'll move on to item 6, presentation, proclamation, and declarations. Item 6A, proclamation recognizing August 2025 as Back to School Safety Month. Whereas the start of a new school year in August brings increased activity on our town's roads, sidewalks, and school zones as students, teachers, and families return to daily routines. And whereas ensuring the safety of all children traveling to and from school is a shared responsibility involving motorists, school staff, parents, guardians, crossing guards, and the broader community. And whereas distracted driving, speeding in school zones, and failure to stop for school buses remain significant safety hazards that put young lives at risk. And whereas Killenly is committed to promoting awareness of safe driving practices, pedestrian safety, school bus laws, and bicycle safety to protect our most vulnerable residents. And whereas Killenly recognizes and appreciates the efforts of our police department, school crossing guards, educators, transportation officials, and parent volunteers who work diligently to ensure student safety throughout the school year. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Killenly Town Council does hereby recognize August 2025 as Back to School Safety Month. We urge all residents to slow down and obey all traffic laws, especially in school zones. Remain alert for children walking, biking, or boarding school buses. Talk with students about safe behaviors on their way to and from school, and work together as a community to ensure a safe and successful school year. Killenly Town Council, Jason Anderson, Chairman, dated at Killenly, Connecticut, this 12th day of August 2025. At this time, we'll move on the agenda. Next item up is item 7, and we have nothing for unfinished business. So we'll move on to item 8, citizen statement and petition. At this time, if anyone would like to make public comment, please step up to the podium and state your name and address. Sir, just so you know, during public comment period, that's a period where public's allowed to make comment, ask questions. After that, once we're done with public comment, then the next item on the agenda is council and staff comments. That's when we would respond to any comments that were said. So public comment period isn't dialogue.
Okay, sure, so let me finish. I would like to know why, how much it costs, and what the purpose is, and why there isn't like a flag of Connecticut, or like a POW flag, or anything like that. It's just an American flag in Gary's Park, and I think that's kind of redundant, kind of unnecessary, and that's about it.
Thank you. Mr. Conroy, did we have any public comments submitted by email?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Any more public comment? Last call for public comment. Seeing none, we will close public comment and move on the agenda. In response to the gentleman's question, I don't have those numbers off the top of my head as to what was spent on the flagpole. What I can do is I can have town manager look into what the cost was, and see what, if any, reasoning was behind just putting an American flag and not a Connecticut flag or a POW flag on it as well. I believe that would have been something that would have been done by Parks and Rec, with it being a park, so we may have to reach out to Parks and Rec director to talk to him about that as well. Any further comments?
Yeah, I'd like to comment on that. I wouldn't mind seeing the other flags. Those are lovely. I'd like the addition. I take offense to saying just an American flag. There's nothing just and about an American flag.
Thank you.
I agree with that as well.
Thank you.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think that flagpole is near the war memorial for the veterans, I believe. That's probably why it's, yeah, that's probably why it's there for that.
Any other comments, questions?
I'll just say that I agree with Michelle and Andy that it's just, not just an American flag. It's this country's flag. It represents the freedom.
I meant that in its solidarity. Like, if you say that, then why not the other two?
Any other comments from council members? Seeing none, we'll move on the agenda. Next item up is item 10, appointments to boards and commissions. Renee Mazzarelli is interested in reappointment as a regular member on the KB Ambulance Board. His term would run from May 1st, 2025 to April 30th, 2027. Mr. Mazzarelli has attended 19 out of 24 regular meetings and attended 1 out of 2 special meetings since his original term started in January of 2023. Currently, the KB Ambulance Board does not have any vacancies. Can I get a motion to reappoint Mr. Mazzarelli?
I'll make that motion.
Motion was made by Mr. Cottula, seconded by Ms. Barclay. Discussion?
I wasn't virtual, well, I was virtual, I didn't actually hear his, interview because it didn't click in fast enough for me. But I've worked with Randy for a really long time. He's very devoted to our emergency services, and he's an excellent, member for the KB Ambulance Board.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. We'll now move on the agenda. Board of Education Liaison, we do not have one this evening, so we'll move on to item 11B, Borough Council Liaison. Did they meet?
The borough will not meet until the third Wednesday in September now.
Okay, thank you. So moving on the agenda, next item up is item 12A, discussion and acceptance of monthly budget reports. Can I get a motion to accept the summary report on general fund appropriations for town government?
I'll make that motion.
Motion was made by Mr. Cottula, second by Ms. George. Comments or questions regarding this?
I had questions. I don't know if Buddy or Jen can answer. So on the public library, it's already 35%, 35% spent. Do we know anything about that? Public library budget?
I believe you're looking at the contractual services.
Yes.
That may be due to timing of having to pay for some of these contracts. If
Do we
you would like,
suspend the rules, or it
motion to
doesn't matter?
suspend the rules to allow
Yeah.
Jen Hawkins, Finance
Second.
Director, to respond to the question. Motion was made by Ms. George, seconded by Ms. Barclay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
You'll see in your cover sheet, I explained various items that come due and payable as soon as we hit June. Specifically, the library contractual is related to their data processing service with Bibliation. That invoice is in before July 1st and is waiting for us to set up in the new system and waiting for us to pay that to them as an annual contract renewal that they have to have as being a part of a library. So that's what that is. So, and as time goes on, you'll see that'll kind of level out. There's also seasonal staff that do things, so there's some programmatic things for the summer as well that would be in contractual.
Thank you. Any further questions for the Finance Director while she's here?
Yeah, Jen, I've got a question. Remember, I could have missed it, but remember last year how the closing numbers came later?
We have a requirement by statute and our governmental accounting standards where we have 60 days to close everything out. So there is a 60-day look-back period between June year-end and basically September 1st. So transfers and all that information to close out June isn't available until then. And at that point, I will then create a final transfer schedule that'll need to go to fiscal sub and then to the town council for approval. So they won't be a final June report until at least October.
Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any further questions for her? Thank you, Jen.
No problem. You're welcome.
Any other questions, comments regarding the general fund appropriation for town government? Seeing none, we had a motion and a second to accept it. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Moving on in the agenda, 12B, we do not have a adjusted budget from the Board of Education, so we'll move on to item 13A, which is Town Manager's Report. Buddy, if you could go over that, please.
First thing on my report is the fuel spill. We had at KISS. It was a diesel fuel spill for the generator. Yeah, it's our shelter, so it's the huge generator that powers the shelter. Luckily, it probably happened early in the morning. The janitorial staff caught it when they came in. We mitigated right away. Probably only 40 gallons, which was really lucky. I have to say the fire marshal did a great job coordinating everything. Matt came over with his guys and right away started putting out booms, so it really didn't travel that far. It was raining too, so everybody did a great job. Hazmat came right out. There was a pressure test done on it. It looks like it may have been an O-ring problem, but we're still waiting for the final say on that. And it might have been a faulty switch issue also, and that's being looked into. Funny enough, another school had the same issue with a light generator 2 weeks later, and they had 400 gallons of diesel fuel. So that's, yeah, I let the insurance company know about that one too. He hadn't heard about that, and all our paperwork is with the insurance company right now. We're just waiting for a final bill.
Thank you.
On that, Buddy, is that in the containment, your generator?
It has it's an outside generator. It is inside a metal box on top of a concrete pad. Let's see, next thing. Oh, this was an interesting thing. I met with DOT. This is the first time they've come up to Northeast Connecticut. It's for every community that touched 395 from the Mass border to Norwich. We went over the diversion plan if the highway was shut down for each and every exit. It was the oddest map I ever saw. It was a firm out of Boston that did it for them. One of their diversions plans was running right down the middle of the center of Putnam. So we got to address it and told them what we thought were better routes. They wanted to know what hazards. They didn't know we had a railroad crossing here on Main Street because Main Street becomes part of the 395 diversion plan. And they didn't even know that. So it was a good meeting, a couple hours, but it was nice to have some input and tell them what was going on and better ways to do what they thought was proper. So we should be they'll finalize that and they'll let us know when the maps are available, so we can have them on hand.
Thank you.
And the town website on August 18th will be going live. It's been a long process. I have to say Ashley Fell and Kelly Adams did a yeoman's job doing it, testing all the links. Everything looks like it works, but we all know what happens when it comes live. But please encourage people to look at it, test it, let us know if there's any issues. It's going to be a little more interactive. You can sign up for different things like emails and news, and we should have some budget transparency on there, so that should answer a lot of people's questions. You can see what we're doing when we're doing it. So hopefully helps everybody out when it comes budget season.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Any comments, questions regarding town manager's report?
So that's gonna be like the general ledger, right? It's gonna be online?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's just gonna be the link to, what is it, clear.gov for
Yeah,
the
Clear
financial
Transparency.
transparency software. All right, do we have anything as far as any updates on the WPCA moratorium?
Presently, our plan is sitting with DEP, so it'll be under review, and we'll see if they have any comments or changes to that plan.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on the agenda, we'll move on to item 14. We have nothing for unfinished business. We have no new business, so we'll move on to item 16, council member reports and comments. Ms. Barclay, would you start?
Okay, I attended the, zoning board, of appeals meeting. There was a piece of property on Rock Avenue owned by the Zadoras. They wanted to have, it changed from 40,000, square feet per lot to 30,000 square feet per lot. They said because of the moratorium, there's no sewer hookups there. So it didn't qualify for all of the stipulations to have that changed, so it was denied. The Housing Authority meeting for July was canceled because they didn't have anything on their agenda. Planning and zoning, we had a public hearing held at the high school. It was well attended. It was about the planned residential development. The public hearing was closed. There was no decision on the new regulations. They wanted time to go over it, and the chair and vice chair were absent, so the next planning and zoning meeting will be at the old high school on Westfield Ave next Monday. There was a zone change from medium density to commercial that was approved, and it's on North Main Street, right next to the movie theater. There is a house that was the only property that was residential. It's about 3 acres. It abuts wetlands, and the surrounding property is all zoned commercial, so that zone change was approved, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. George?
So, NECOG, I sent all of you a survey Jim Larkin has put together. It's Safe Streets for All. There are 4 workshops. 2 have passed. It's open to the entire community, so if you can share that with everyone. It's basically trying to pinpoint like the most dangerous roads, intersections throughout the entire NECOG region. And they're working with the state of Connecticut, I believe with DOT, to put together an action plan to fix some of these issues. This survey is running through, I believe it's the first quarter in 2026. So if you have any questions, reach out to Jim Larkin. If you're interested in getting in on the workshops, they are all public. I believe they're going to be on Zoom, the next 2. One is coming up in, I believe, November, the next one. He's pulling all the data together right now for the past 2. We voted on a resolution opposing the garbage to energy power plant being proposed in Plainfield. The company is Smart Technology Systems, LLC. Plainfield voted against a text zoning change from residential to industrial, but now it's with the Siting Council in Deep. It encompasses around 300 acres, and it's between Norwich Road and Black Hill Road. So of course the safety concerns, the people do not want it. Selectman Cunningham spoke, he does not want it, and NECOG is going to put in a resolution opposing it with the siting council.
And the site for the Woodford House versus
Right, yeah. So, that's a different area though, isn't it?
It's still in Plainfield, right?
Right, but there's no action on that right now. This is active, like they're trying to push it, this company. NDDH, we are getting ready to seat our new board. The chair nomination, once again, is Lana Salisbury for chair for another year. And then I have been nominated as the vice chair position. We will be, well, I'll abstain, but it will be voted on September 11th. And I can honestly say, since Luigi came on, they have done a phenomenal job. They are doing great. They're working wonderfully well. They communicate more with all of the towns. Are doing excellent, even though they are approximately 30% down on staff over the past 3 or 4 years. So the kudos to NDDH. ERTD, Eastern Regional Tourism District, we're working on our 2026 plan. We finished grant applications open to the district. There's 41 towns, and I believe they approved, it's on their website, but I believe they approved almost all of the applications. Came in about 20 applications. So that money goes out, like last year, if you remember right, the Northeast Chamber did a video on Killingly and Pomfret, all of the different spots. That was one of the grants that was put through. And they also did one on historical cemeteries. I believe that was in Pomfret. That was another grant that had gone through a couple years ago. So it's a really good opportunity for small businesses if they want to spotlight things. This is a great grant, and that is on the CT Visit website. Ribbon cuttings, we went to Jersey Mike's and Bark Society. So even though we have the moratorium, we still have things happening, and Killingly is doing very well on that side. And I was just elected to the committee chair for legislation for tourism. So we will be working to get more money, more funding brought into tourism across the entire state. And Tony is on vacation, so I will be going to the Ag Commission meeting tomorrow night.
Thank you. I participated in the interview process for our town clerks along with our acting town manager, Buddy Conroy. Also attended the personnel subcommittee meeting regarding the appointment of the town clerk, which already came before us. And that's all I had.
Like Jason, I also did the personal sub. I did it a little differently. I was virtual. I was at the 4-H camp, being the nurse du jour for the week. While I was there, also Tony filled in for me for rec. I did follow up with the rec department. Things are chugging along the Spooktacular. There's going to be a lot of new events this year. The red, white, and blue, everybody's still talking about that, and we're looking forward to next year when it's our country's 250th. So there's plans already in the works trying to get and make that an even bigger bash than we had this year. And I think that's all I did.
Thank you. Mr. Catula.
Permanent building for Westfield Avenue, they've started work on the roof again with the scupper drains and the fascia trim. Also, there was 2 entrances that bump out for the kitchen addition. They had put in a ramp, but it was an asphalt ramp that was at the width of the doors, and it tapered down, and that was the permanent building committee wanted that changed because it was in the winter time and everything to plow it. You got a ramp sticking in the middle of the parking lot. So they met 2 weeks ago on a Wednesday over there. That was a plan was put together to rectify that. And then the other entrance on the backside from one of the parking lots, there was a section of concrete that didn't meet grade for ADA, and they made them tear that out and replace that. And then they're going to put a handrail in the middle of that entrance because it's a double wide door. I think it's 20 feet, 22 feet wide or more. There's gonna be a handrail in the middle of that, and then that other door has a continuation of the sidewalk, and it wraps around up to that doorway for the kitchen addition in the back. So I drove by there one night, that stuff's already, other than the handrail, that other work has already been done. And they wanted to get it done before school started, so that should be no problem.
Thank you. Ms. Murphy?
The Board of Education did not meet, so I didn't meet with them. I went to WPCA. They were within permit, within budget. They're getting some pressure. The commission is giving some pressure now to the staff to negotiate, move the Frito-Lay negotiations along. There's a little pressure in the room. There was one petition trying to get a hookup for a mother-in-law, and it was turned down. Is that all? That's all I have for them. And then I went to P and Z, and I also went to the appeals. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wayhead?
I went to the Personnel Subcommittee meeting.
We already covered that. Okay. Thank you. And we have nothing for executive session, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion made by Ms. Barclay,
I'll second it.
seconded by Mr. Cottula. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Meeting is adjourned.